Atlich, Gayla Kesla school-based equity scanning teams. This video is designed to provide you with support and suggestions as you equity scan Indigenous students from grades 4 to 12 in your school community. Prior to this scanning, please meet with all of your equity school-based team in order to review all materials and reach consensus regarding how best to equity scan collectively and appropriately for your school's unique context. Similar to the equity scan, the staff equity scan, there are two methods to getting student data. The first approach is an online survey, which can be accessed through the link and QR code provided in your package. The second approach could include a pizza lunch or small group activities where students provide their perspectives and respond to specific prompts created by the district equity scanning team. As you know from staff surveys, the elementary and secondary student surveys may require 20, 30 minutes or more to complete, so please be sure to provide enough time for each Indigenous student to complete their survey. As these surveys are anonymous, each student must complete their entire survey in one session for their answers to be counted, otherwise they'll be lost. Students who must leave their session midway may need to start another time. Please note that only Indigenous students from grades 4 to 12 will be asked to participate in the online survey. We'll be collecting younger Indigenous student stories through other approaches throughout the district at different school sites. And I'll follow up with those schools and teachers separately. While this Indigenous student survey is voluntary, it's important that parents and guardians are aware and informed regarding the purpose of this equity scan. Therefore, we ask that you send out the letter to parents and guardians that was provided to you prior to offering students the survey. In order to respectfully collect Indigenous student stories, we will be offering each student who completes an online survey a gift card of $10 to Bigfoot Donuts or Blue Spruce. These are Indigenous-owned businesses. While every school principal will be provided with a portion of the gift cards required to scan Indigenous students grades 4 through 12, school-based equity scanning teams will collectively decide the best approach for surveying Indigenous students and distributing their gift cards once the survey is complete. Please reach out to Tabitha Dare if you feel that your school is getting low on gift cards. While there's no perfect way to do this, please ensure that you center and prioritize Indigenous students' needs and comfort level when deciding who should assist each student with their survey, where that should take place, and how they will discreetly receive their gift card. In order to keep track of who has completed their survey and received a gift card, all school-based equity scanning teams will have access to a list of Indigenous students grades 4 to 12, like you see here. While all principals and ISWs should have access to update this file, if you're a teacher or a CUPE member who requires access to this file, please contact Tabitha Dare indicating your school, and she will provide you with access. Please ensure that you update the tracking sheet to avoid multiple entries for the same person. This is important as this is an anonymous survey, so gift cards will only be provided to students who complete this survey in the presence of staff. Now, this is regarding secondary students only. While the preferred method is to have the student sit with a staff member for the entirety of the survey, we understand secondary students can be very busy and they also often have cell phones. So what we're wondering is if you feel comfortable doing this, you could encourage students to do parts of the survey and save 3 screenshots of the survey as they're completing it, with the third screenshot being the final one saying congratulations, you've completed the survey. And I ask for the other 2 just to ensure that they have in fact done the survey and not just shared the completed screen with their friends. And of course, don't have them send you those images, because this is an anonymous survey. If you can just, if I was a staff member that was going to be working alongside the student and tracking that and giving them their gift card, I just need to look through my screen and see, okay, yes, and glancing over, I can see that you've done the survey with these 3 screenshots here. No problem, here's your gift card. Okay, if you have any issues or questions regarding this process or the rationale, please just reach out to me directly. Now, while we encourage all students to provide their perspective, no Indigenous student should feel obliged or obligated if they don't feel that they want to. It's also important to acknowledge that filling out the survey may bring up negative experiences for some students, and therefore it's really important that students are aware of this prior to the survey and that they're supported by a trusted adult during this experience and closely monitored afterwards to ensure that they have the appropriate social emotional supports throughout the survey. You're also encouraged to provide opportunities for Indigenous students to share their stories and perspectives to the specific prompts provided within your supporting PowerPoint. And that PowerPoint's entitled Small Group Student Equity Scanning Discussion. Now, these opportunities could be pizza lunches or other creative ideas decided upon by your school-based equity scanning team. Please note that the district will be providing funding for reasonable food and other expenses required to host small group equity scanning discussions. Be sure to choose Indigenous students for these discussions and provide clarity around the purpose of these meetings to ensure cultural safety and productive conversations. Please also ensure that members of the equity scanning team are there to facilitate and take notes during the session. And let students know that you'll be taking the notes and that you won't be indicating who said what, that it's anonymized. We ask that you send those notes and discussions to me at joe.heslop@sd71.bc.ca, as these notes will be received as vital data for the equity scan. Now, throughout the process, please let students know that their opinions matter and that they will be used to make our school district more equitable for all students. Now, if you have questions or concerns about your school's Indigenous small group equity scanning discussion, please reach out to me directly. Thank you again for your important work in creating a more equitable education system here in the Comox Valley.